So I recently recorded and posted my full review of the brand new Rogue Air Rhino. And since then, I've got a ton of questions on how in the heck do I use this thing. So today I'm gonna go through some of the best ways that I program the Air Rhino for myself, for my clients. And these are great ideas that you can incorporate into your training. Now, this is not gonna be every single way that you can use the Air Rhino, but these are some different ways that I'm using as a trainer and as a coach in my clients' programs, as well as my own program, how you can integrate this Rhino, not just for strength, not just for conditioning, not just for accessory exercises. I'm gonna show you how you can incorporate it into your workout in so many different ways and show you how versatile this piece of equipment really is. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking all about the Air Rhino. I have had some time to use this and program it into my own workouts and my clients' workouts, and I want to tell you how I'm using it and to show you how versatile this piece can really be. If you guys are interested in the full review that I did on the Rogue Air Rhino, I'll leave the link to that down in the comment section below, as well as the description, or I'll leave it at the end of the video. If you guys are interested in picking one of these up, order through my affiliate link down in the comment section below. That doesn't change the price that you pay, but it does help support this channel. And if you do that, I want to help you out as well. Send an email to jordan@fitgrindreviews.com and I'll send you my full comprehensive Rogue Air Rhino training guide. This is going to build on the video that we talked about today, different exercises that you can do, different combinations that you can do, talk about when to turn Rhino mode on and give you the full training guide. So like I said, if you end up ordering through my link, send a screenshot to jordan@fitgrindreviews.com. I want to help you out and thank you for going through my affiliate link. The Rhino is typically known as a belt squat machine, and the Air Rhino can still be used the same way. So obviously you can use this machine for strength. And that's the first way that I want to talk about is programming the Rogue Air Rhino for strength. Typically you're going to use your bigger, heavier exercises like deadlifts, like belt squats, maybe for a Zercher squat, maybe for a lunge. You can utilize the Air Rhino for the same way to program it for strength. Now, one of the best ways that I like to really utilize the Air Rhino for strength is to, yes, engage Rhino mode, but also cluster reps together. So what we're trying to focus on, we're using Rhino mode and we're trying to work on strength and overload. We're trying to really focus on max force production. And a really good way that you can get more reps at higher output is to utilize cluster sets. Now, it's really easy to use the Air Rhino because you can change your resistance depending on the rep. You can change your output depending on how hard you exert. And I really like to program cluster reps for deadlifts, for belt squats, sometimes for Zercher squats. It's a really good way that you can get higher output for more reps. So for example, what you could do, say that you're doing a standard 3 sets of 6, and normally you do all 6 reps in a row on a regular deadlift. And rep 1 is going to be your fastest moving rep, your highest producing force rep. And usually rep 6 is going to be the lowest force or the lowest output rep. You can utilize a cluster set to get more reps at higher output, leading to better strength gains, better muscle gains, all those types of things. So what you're going to do, for example, say you're doing sets of 6 and you're doing 3 total sets, you can cluster them into maybe sets of 2, maybe sets of 3. So if you're doing sets of 3, you would do 3 reps of a deadlift or a belt squat or whatever exercise you're doing, produce as much force as you possibly can. You're trying to go as hard as you can for 3 reps, rest 15, 20, maybe 30 seconds, and then you do another 3 reps. This is such an efficient way that you can create more reps at higher output. It's going to lead to a lot higher quality reps. It's going to allow you to focus on giving a maximal effort, because if you're only doing 2 reps at a time or 3 reps at a time, you're going to be able to really push on those couple reps and really give your max output. And that's really what strength on this machine is designed to do, is focus on max output. If you're doing sets of 20 on this thing, you're not going to be able to give max output because you're going to fatigue. So typically, if you're programming for strength, usually I'll utilize lower rep ranges. Usually for the strength programming, what I'll do is I'll program anything in the range of like 2 to a maximum of 8. That's where you're going to see the biggest output, the biggest force production. And cluster sets is a really good way to do this. Again, you could do it for sets of 2. So you could do 2, rest, 2, rest, 2. And you do that for 3 sets. That still gives you 3 sets of 6. It still gives you the same amount of volume, but allows you to train at a higher output and really focus on max force production. The second way that I really like to use the Rogue Air Rhino is to use it as an accessory and really mix it and add confliction type supersets. So for example, one of my favorite couple of supersets to do, first one is a bicep blaster. So you can utilize the Air Rhino, swap it out for the straight bar or any sort of curl attachment that you like. Start off on any bicep exercise. Maybe it's a preacher curl, maybe it's a barbell curl, maybe it's an incline dumbbell curl, maybe it's a cable curl, whatever variation of curl that you like. Go as heavy as you can for 8 to 10 reps. Come over to the Rhino, leave Rhino mode off, and then you're gonna pump out 10, 12, 15 reps on the Rhino, basically to where you can't lift that bar anymore. Now, what this is gonna do is it's gonna be confliction. It's gonna compound from exercise to exercise. So you're doing 2 bicep exercises back to back. It's gonna cause so much more fatigue, especially because you could only get resistance on the concentric of that rep. So you're taking yourself that much closer to muscle failure. And this is a really efficient way that you can utilize the Air Rhino. You can do the same thing for legs. You could use a leg extension machine or a leg press, do 8 to 10 really heavy reps, come over to the Rhino, throw your belt on, and do 10, 12, 15 reps and focus on burning out your quads. Say you're doing it for triceps, you could do a tricep push down, or you could do an overhead French press or a close grip bench press. Come over, attach an easy bar or a straight bar and do some skull crushers. This is such an efficient way that you can utilize the Rhino, and because of the damper system, you can change the resistance based on the amount of air that's getting into the machine. And this is something that I'm utilizing all the time in my own workouts and my clients' workouts that I really love. The third way that you can utilize the Air Rhino, again, is another favorite of mine. You can utilize complexes, or you can utilize conflicting type exercises. You can do multiple exercises in a circuit on the Rhino. So one really good one that I really love on the Air Rhino is a lower body complex, where you're gonna complete Romanian deadlifts for 8 to 10 reps. Then you're gonna do a regular conventional deadlift for 8 to 10 reps, throw that bar up into a Zercher squat and do it for 8 to 10 reps. That is such a conflicting style of superset that is freaking hard, but it's a way that you can pair multiple exercises together that are gonna compound on each other and are gonna make it so much harder to get through that circuit. You could do this for back, you could do this for biceps, you could do this for legs, you can do this for a full upper body circuit. You can do multiple exercises in succession and complex them all together, and it just increases a lot of fatigue. This is something I would do more towards the end of the workout, so I wouldn't start your workout with something like this. So that circuit that I mentioned would be a really good way to finish off your legs at the end of the workout, but it's a good way that you can use it as a finisher and just kind of create some more variety in your training instead of using a barbell for a regular barbell complex. The last way that I want to talk about today that I'm really enjoying using the Rogue Air Rhino is using it as a conditioning tool. Now, again, these are just different ways that I'm using it. You can use it so many different ways. There's so many different exercises, but the beauty of the Rogue Air Rhino is it can be used as a strength tool. It can be used as an accessory exercise tool. It can also be used as a conditioning tool. Now, one circuit that I really love doing that is really challenging, that allows you to get some cardiovascular stimulus, you can work on some muscular endurance, is to utilize the belt squat on the Rogue Air Rhino and utilize it as a conditioning station. Say you're gonna do a EMOM with the Rogue Air Rhino and you're gonna mix it in with some rowing, you're gonna do running on the treadmill, and you're gonna use the belt squat on the Rogue Air Rhino. You can utilize an every minute on the minute format, and you could do 30 seconds each station. You go 30 seconds on the rower, 30 seconds rest, get over to the belt squat, 30 seconds of work on the belt squat, 30 seconds of rest, go over to the treadmill, do 30 seconds on the treadmill, and repeat that every minute on the minute. As it gets easier, you can also increase the work duration. You could go 40 seconds, 45 seconds, and cut down that rest time. But it really works well as a good conditioning tool to get your heart rate up and also work on some muscular endurance. A lot of times people have one of two strengths. They either are super strong and explosive, but they really lack in muscular endurance, or the opposite, they have a lot of muscular endurance and they need to focus on some strength. So this is a great way you can mix it in. You could even mix it into an AMRAP setting where, say, you're doing a wall ball, or you're doing a sled push, and you're doing a belt squat on the Rhino, and you're doing 10 wall balls, you're doing a sled push down and back, and you come over and do 10 belt squats. Again, the sky is really the limit with how you mix this, but it can be a great conditioning tool. But I would say if you're using it for conditioning, depending on your strength level, for most people, I would probably leave Rhino mode off. If you're working on strength, leave Rhino mode on. And really that's gonna come down to the individual, it's gonna come down to the user. But if you're trying to get a lot of reps and you're trying to create a lot of muscular endurance and high fatigue, I would probably leave Rhino mode off if you're using it as a conditioning tool and focus on moving, getting your heart rate up, and using it as a great tool for conditioning. You can do EMOMs, you can do AMRAPs, you can do big circuits where you're mixing it in. Say you're doing a bunch of different exercises and it's going to be a station. You can really utilize it as a conditioning tool as well as a strength tool. And these are all really great ways that I'm mixing the Rogue Air Rhino into my clients' programs and to my own program. You know, we own a personal training and a small group training gym. When we have a group, I'll use it as a station, either mixed with a strength exercise or we'll use it as an accessory exercise. So just this morning with my group class, one of the circuits that I had them doing, block 2, was a heavy-weighted dumbbell lunge. They were mixing in some cable crunches for some core. And then the third station was RDLs on the Rogue Air Rhino. So again, you can utilize it so many different ways. And that's why I think this is such a versatile tool that I highly recommend for most people. I think that you're going to love using it. As a trainer, it really allows me to get creative with the ways that we're going to use it, changing resistance, changing duration, changing out attachments. Really, this is just a carabiner to where if any attachment that you have, it's going to be able to be compatible with this. And you can utilize all sorts of different attachments. So the sky really is the limit. These are just some examples of the way that I'm training. Like I said, this is not the end all be all, but I just wanted to give you guys a follow-up on my review because I had so many questions on this looks awesome, but how the heck am I going to program this? How am I going to utilize this in my workouts? I just want to go through some different ways you can utilize this in your program. If you guys are interested in the full review that I did on the Rogue Air Rhino, I'll leave the link to that down in the comment section below, as well as the description, or I'll leave it at the end of the video. And like I said at the beginning of the video, if you guys are interested in picking one of these up, order through my affiliate link down in the comment section below. That doesn't change the price that you pay, but it does help support this channel. And if you do that, I want to help you out as well. Send an email to jordan@fitgrindreviews.com and I'll send you my full comprehensive Rogue Air Rhino training guide. This is going to build on the video that we talked about today, different exercises that you can do, different combinations that you can do, talk about damper setting, talk about when to turn Rhino mode on, and give you the full training guide. So like I said, if you end up ordering through my link, send a screenshot to jordan@fitgrindreviews.com. I want to help you out. And thank you for going through my affiliate link. As always, guys, if you have questions on the Rogue Air Rhino or any other training questions, let me know down in the comment section below. Go check out my full review of the Rogue Air Rhino next at the top of the screen, and I'll see you guys in the next one.